Hey everyone, this is Jeremy. This is the very first episode of the monthly gaming roll-up on Tezos. And today we're just going to go through what's been going on in the month of April. So as a quick intro, I'm Jeremy. I've joined the Tezos ecosystem about 6 months ago as head of gaming. So I'm responsible for the success of gaming on Tezos. Before this, I spent about 7 years working in Web2 games. I was a producer on League of Legends for 2 years. I worked on strategy and monetization for Garena Free Fire for another 2 years. And then I did strategic investments in game studios for the last 3 years. I'm really excited to be here. I think there's a lot of potential for blockchain in games. And I'm confident that we can get lots of great games to build on Tezos. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell. Now I'll go through the mission, vision, and KPIs that we have for gaming on Tezos. We want Tezos to be the most developer and player-friendly blockchain that unlocks new ways for players to have fun. Ultimately, this would mean many great games that are being built on Tezos that are enjoyed by millions of players. The way that we'll measure this, at least in 2023, is monthly active on-chain users. In traditional Web2 games, having a critical mass of players is important to succeed, as that means there's enough players to play against, there's enough matchmaking to go on. And so in the very same way, we need to ensure that there are enough players in our ecosystem in order to be successful. In order to achieve this vision of having great games that are built on Tezos, we need to do a few things better. On one hand, we need to improve the tooling and education in our ecosystem. We need to make it easy for developers to build and integrate Web3 features into their games, especially for Web2 developers that are keen to try out what Web3 can do to improve the player engagement and monetization within their games. We are starting with the Unity SDK, which we co-developed together with Unity and has been verified by Unity as well. We believe that this tool, which is continuously being updated, will be critical in helping Unity developers to add in basic Web3 functionality into their games. Concurrently, we're also working on marketplace and wallet SDKs, such that you'll be able to integrate in-game wallets and in-game marketplaces seamlessly without any blockchain experience. Next, we need to find the right partners to work with, and we are heavily focused on content. Ultimately, players come for great games, and so we need to have great games in order to grow the gaming vertical on Tezos. We'll work closely with a selected group of partners and game studios in order to help them succeed and launch a game that can attract many players onto Tezos. We'll work with them to figure out what the best use cases of blockchain are, how the blockchain can make players enjoy the game more and help the game monetize better. We'll work with them on the funding aspect to help them access the wider VC and financial investor markets. We'll help them with marketing, making sure that the game gets in front of Tezos fans and the general Web2 gaming market as well. Finally, we have a vibrant and active community on Tezos today, and we want these developers to try their hand at building games as well. Having worked on a couple of games that have hundreds of millions of users, my advice would really be to get to market as soon as possible. Launch a prototype, get some users, and work together with those users to refine and improve your game. Once you validate that the gameplay is fun and sustainable and engaging, that's when you can try to scale your game and work together with us to get your game in front of many more players and grow. So yeah, that's kind of the high-level roundup, and I wanted to dive into a few topics and a few highlights. So for the month of April, I think one of the biggest announcements was the unfortunate closure of Interpop that was developing Emergence, a trading card game. The Interpop team is great. They are staffed with some of the best game developers and designers from the Magic the Gathering space and Wizards of the Coast as well. The digital collectibles idea was very sound as well, and we continue to believe that trading card games with digital collectibles is going to be a key part of adoption for blockchain in games. However, unfortunately, when Emergence soft launched, we tracked the user metrics and the results of the game, and ultimately felt that the game wasn't scalable, that we couldn't grow it to attract tens of thousands of users to enjoy the game sustainably. This is more common than you might expect in the games industry. There have been multiple games by great studios that have been forced to close as well. Recently, for example, Supercell had to close 2 games, Everdale and Clash Quest, just because their metrics weren't strong as well. So while it is unfortunate, it is a reality of the market, and we will continue to try to find partners that are building games that can scale. In the short term, we're focused on processing the refunds for players that have supported and bought Emergence NFTs, and more details will be released shortly. In the medium term, we're figuring out the best way to open source the assets and code that the Interpop team has built in order for people that are building dApps on Tezos to be able to access them for free. There are certain technical and legal restrictions that we need to navigate, but we do anticipate this to be resolved within a few months. Next, we wanted to introduce Brightspot Stables, which is a horse NFT game, has launched successfully. Their basic concept is one-to-one NFTs of real horses. All the NFTs they've launched have sold out, and we believe that that's an exciting start for what they are building and what they are launching. Another positive note would be Vitality Hive, the fan engagement platform for Vitality fans. So Team Vitality is the biggest esports team in France, with top-tier teams in League of Legends, Valorant, and Counter-Strike. The fan engagement platform has been very positively reviewed, and the community is one of the only fan engagement platforms that hasn't had any negative flack from the community. Although there have been some recent hiccups in the latest update, where there were some bugs that forced the app to close for a couple of days, those have been resolved and everything is back and updated. Our next milestone and our next goal for this is to add more utility and use cases for the holders of Vitality NFTs and reward them for being an early supporter of this initiative. You can download the app today and get the NFT for free by searching for v.hive on the Google and Apple App Store. Finally, on the tooling side, we launched the Unity SDK in March this year. So far, we've gotten 500 downloads of the SDK, and we're excited because that means there are many capable indie developers trying out Web3 features on Tezos through the SDK. Developing and upgrading the SDK is a continuous work, and we are aware that there are always bugs and issues which we're striving to fix in a timely manner. We have a very clear goal for making this SDK into the best way for Web2 developers to integrate simple Web3 features without any blockchain experience on their team. We believe that this will help these experienced, capable Web2 teams to grow their presence and engage their users better. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit around what's coming up in the next few months. We have a few casual PvP games that we're launching that are built on Tezos within the next 2 to 3 months. These have been built in partnership with experienced Web2 teams that have built other successful games in the past. 3 of them will be launched in the next 2 to 3 months, and and more details will come very soon. We're continuing to work on partnerships, and we are working on signing partnerships with high potential gaming partners that are bringing successful Web2 games into the Web3 space. With large existing fans and user bases, if we can convert a fraction of these users into Tezos users, it would be a huge win for the community, and we'll see a marked increase in the monthly active users on our chain. Finally, we're continuing to improve vHive. As I mentioned, right now, the fan engagement has been very positive, but there have been requests to make the NFTs more useful and to also add in kind of more gamified experiences. We're currently exploring the best way to do so, and there will be some exciting things to do in the Paris Major at the end of May for Vitality NFT holders. Stay tuned to their Twitter as well as the Tezos Twitter to find more details in the coming weeks. So that's it for this month's Gaming Roll-Up. We're really excited and committed to helping great games, become even better by integrating Tezos. We believe that there are real use cases for the blockchain in games, and we're dedicated and committed to making sure that we find these and are the ones that discover them and and help them to build on Tezos. So stay tuned. This will be a monthly update, and I'll hopefully have good news for you next month as well. Thank you for joining us, and catch you soon. Bye.